students, now we move to the fourth form of the poetry. That form is the elegy. The original scope of this elegy form, that is the ancient Greece, where it originated. The term elegy covered war song, love poems and political verses. So elegy especially sing as a war song. मेरे देश की धरती, whatever, on 15th August or 26th January we listen this song usually. Also as a love poem, it is also having a theme of a political verses. It is also the theme of a lamentation for the dead. In fact, a wide range of subject. The elegy contained the wide range of subject, both grave and gay. The Greek judged this composition by its form, not by its subject matter. It was written in the elegiac measure. A couplet composed of dactylic hexameter followed by a dactylic pentameter. Then these are the elegy. The modern connotation. In modern usage, it is the theme that matter, not the meter. And the classical elegiac measure is not used in English verse. And elegy nowadays take its name from the subject matter, not from its form. Thus, in a writing in elegy, an English poet is not limited to any one form. By many choose whatever seems to him most fitting, though some of the most touching poems of personal loss have been written in very simple language. That are formal elegy usually aims at an effect of dignity and solemnity without a sense of a strain and artificiality. These are the features of the elegy. What are the other features? Let's look. The elegy itself more readily than other forms of poetry. Discursive reflection on the part of the poet. Death is so vast and evocative, a subject that it leads the poet to regions of thought the might not normally explore. As A.R. Entwistle observed, sometimes it's a death. Then the pastoral elegy. During the Renaissance, a new kind of elegy was introduced into English poetry. It followed a convention by which the poet represented himself as a shepherd bewailing the loss of companion. The form aroused among the Greeks originally, probably the Idylls are the earliest poems known as a elegy. A pastoral lamenting his patrons and intimate friend Sir Philip Sidney, that Astrophel. These are the famous elegy. This is the fourth form of the poetry. Then now we move on a fifth form of the poetry. That distinguished features of this, that fifth is the idyll. The English words the idyll is not a distinct species by itself. It may sometimes be a lyric, sometimes a longer poem, and sometimes a passage in an elegy, play, epic or ballad. It has no set form. The poet may give it any form pleases. It derives its name from a Greek word meaning a little picture, and so the term idyll in a poetry is associated with relative brevity and pictorial effect. What are the style and treatment of idyll? Idyll is not a mere objective description of persons, places or things. It is the poet's own version of what he has seen or felt. The language is usually carefully chosen to give the desired pictorial impression. Lines written in the march, the one example is given here, that the cock is crowing, the stream is flowing, the small bird is twittering, the lake doth is glittering. These are the types of the idyll which is written by the Milton. Subject of the idyll, that is the earliest idyll, are those of the Greek poet. Their names are varied and country life, mythology and the poet's own experience and impressions. English literary practice, however, has nearly always limited the scope of idyll to the treatment of the lovely life in town or a village. Then Tennyson was justified in using the term in the title of his Idyll of the King, for these long poems were frankly idealized picture of the chivalric life and simpler age, the glorious Arthurian epoch. These are the fifth type of the idyll. Now we move to the another form of the poetic form, that is the epic. The epic. How we define the epic? The classical example to define an epic is, in European literature, is Lilith and the Odyssey by the ancient Greek poet Homer. Homer is the first poet who used this form, which have served a model to a later epic poets. Each of these great works is a long tale in a verse. I must mention that Ramayana is also an epic. In a long tale, this epic is written by the Valmiki in a long tale, in a long form, and which have served as a model to a later epic poet. Each of these great works is long tale in verse. The famous heroes for its principal character, and it waves together into an artistic form the many legends of their exploits, which were handed down from the generations to generations. In epics, the heroes has made, a particular heroes has made by the writer, the poet, and he introduced to the public, to introduce to the society. The story of the epic or instant existed a fall lore before the Homer. These are the main feature. Convention of the epic. The theme of the epic is stated in the first few lines, accompanied by a prayer to the muse. The statement of the theme is technically called the proposition and prayer. These are the facts. The epic employs the conventional poetic device such as a Homeric epithet. The term phrase sometimes quite largely applied again and again to a particular person and a place. The growth of the epic art, then the mock epic, these are the another form. In mock epic, Italy and France set the fashion for poetry to the epic form, which later found limitations in England. In this, a theme obviously unworthy of the serious epic, an ancient, quite trifling in itself, is clothed and all the traditional Solomon dignity of the epic form. There was a classical presented in the Battle of the Frog. These are the types of the epic which is mentioned here. So this is the epic. Now we move to the seventh form of the poetic form in our next video. Thank you.